And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, roll, Atlantis.
Water towers can fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flighting down to FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange!
R45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this!
Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? We don't need any more of these.
Well, hello everybody. It's time to get ready for Starship Flight 7. We have got Booster 14 preparing to roll out onto Highway 4 down to Pad A at the launch site, and that is a rollout for launch. And you can see the flashy car getting all very excited about the rollouts coming. The window lasts till 8 PM, but luckily we're not going to be here for hours waiting for this to roll. It looks like it's going to roll any second. That's why we've gone live on dedicated commentary, and joining me is Mr. Ryan Webber. Hello, Ryan.
Well, hi, Chris. How's it going today? Hi, everyone.
Yes, it's very exciting, isn't it? So we are getting close to what we think is, but not yet confirmed to be, a January 10 launch of Flight 7. And while that's all happening, they are preparing the vehicles for Flight 8. This is going to be the start of 2025, where they expect to launch far more times than they have in 2024. We don't think it'll be the 25 they've been pimping on X and what have you, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be a lot more. So it's going to be very exciting. I would say at least one a month. I think the cadence will be for this one. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what their cadence is going to be. It's obviously not going to be 25. There's no chance at that. But I still think in around 8, assuming they can get some reuse in with their block ones, but we'll see.
You know what I always do on these streams? I always introduce who's talking with me. I never introduce people in the background because I'm just notorious for it. I'm a terrible person. I'm going to just go through a long list of people I can see who are controlling bots and doing producing. So I'm going to just read everybody out. We've got Carson, we've got Chris Atherton, we've got Gage, we've got Jack who's deployed the cameras, we've got Jay, we've got Kevin Michael Reed, God. We've got Need Pizza, we've got Matt Z, we've got Roger, and we've got everyone else in there. It's like a complete team of people helping with these views as this vehicle starts to roll. Is it rolling towards us, Ryan?
It is starting to roll towards us. It's starting to go to the highway. So, yep, we're into the roll now.
There we go. So, luckily, we're getting closer and closer to Highway 4 for Booster 14. This is going to be its last time it's going down Highway 4, unless they catch it, recover it, and take it back down to production site. That could easily happen. That's where we are now. We're looking at booster catches. And if this one all goes well, we might be seeing ship catches on Flight 8. So that's where it gets very exciting. Now, look, enough of us talking. How about some questions? Because if you've got any questions, you know the routine by now. Do an NASASpaceflight in chat, followed by your question, goes into a panel, and I go through and try and read as many of them out as we possibly can. And usually it'd be me going to Ryan, question for you, Ryan. Ryan, question for you, Ryan. I don't know. Ryan!
Just me and you.
Yeah, it's just me and you. So that means basically it's got to be on Ryan. I'm going to thank some people, by the way, because we get this support all the time. And I never want to make it sound like it's something I expect or something that's routine. It's not. It's always very much appreciated. So I'm going to read it out. We've got Michael Swam, became a Red Team member. Thank you, Michael. Bideford, the regular Bideford, has gifted 5 Red Team memberships. Brianna Matthews, a name we see all the time. Hoping for a full stack tomorrow, maybe, and a Flight 7 patch reveal. Oh, my word. Yes, I do need to speak to Adrian about that. I don't know where we are with the patch reveal for Flight 7 yet. I don't want to speak on Adrian's behalf, so I will leave it up to him to say when we're going to do the 7 reveal. But we do know that it will be pre-order, that's for certain. but like Flight 6 was as well. So I will make sure that when we do reveal it, we will stress the word pre-order, because many people did see pre-order but still thought it was going to arrive the next day. Doesn't work that way. We're not Amazon Prime. So only they can do next day. Eric Fraser, happy National Bacon and Booster Rollout Day. Is it actually National Bacon Day, or are you making it up, Eric? Let me know. Because Jack will be, he's actually probably, he can hear us. I don't know if he's on communications.
It is.
It actually is
National Bacon Day. Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll definitely probably see Jack coming in the stream at some point later mentioning that, because he likes his bacon. Telstar86 has gifted Red Team membership. John Russell has become a Pad Rep member. And Phil has said, Happy New Year. Can't wait for 2025. And then it said, thank you, Phil. MX Spade did a super chat, thank you, and Rick has become a Pad Rep member. Right, there we go. We can go to questions, because I do want to make sure they're read out first, because people were doing it before we actually started the stream, and I thought it's just very important to start with a thank you, as we have there. What progress have we seen with Tower 2's chopsticks as high reactivity? Chopsticks, Ryan. We've definitely seen the carriage system still being worked on. We're definitely seeing the almost like parallel bars at Pad B ready to host the chopsticks ahead of being installed on the tower. Do we think we're still a few weeks off, maybe after Flight 7?
They're going to do it after Flight 7 at this rate. They haven't fully assembled the assembly jig for it yet. They still have scaffolding up around them, so my guess is they want to get Flight 7 out of the way, then they'll roll them both out, assemble it, get it on the tower, and get that part of it done. So I would get it's going to be after Flight 7, because I mean the earliest net date we've seen is the January 10th. So they don't have enough. That's not enough time to roll out all three pieces, assemble them, and get it onto the tower. Because you have to remember, they're not going to want those to just sit over at the launch pad during a launch. That's extra hardware they would have to find a place to store at the launch site, and they don't really have a lot of room over there. They're digging a massive cryo pipe trench right now, so they don't really have a lot of room to store stuff. So it'll be after launch.
Yeah, I've got some really good questions here. They're definitely Ryan questions. So it's kind of worked out very well that you're on with me, because these are right up your street. I'm going to go through them in order. Yvonne Mush, who I do like his username, because I know it's a play on Elon Musk, but it just sounds fun. How excited are you for Ship 33 V2 full start? Because this is the first V2. Am I correct? My brain might have gone there a second. It's the first V2, isn't it?
Oh, for Ship, yeah.
For Ship, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly exciting to see the progression this program has taken. This ship, whether you want to call it V2 Block 2, the upgraded ship, one way or the other, it's a significantly upgraded vehicle overall. Between the earlier ones, something like Ship 31. So many little changes have been made. I mean, one of the biggest changes overall is the nose cone. In the past, the nose cone had these massive, like flat frames and braces on the inside of the nose cone, which basically rendered the nose cone useless to payloads. But with the updates to the newly upgraded ship Block 2, like they can now use like the bottom half of the nose cone for payloads, because they've optimized it with stringers rather than massive frames. And the list just goes on. I mean, we're writing a video, or at least I am. We'll plans to have it out before the launch it happens. It'll cover a lot of the stuff on this. But if you are one of those people that wants to sit down and read for a couple of hours, I would recommend reading the Ring Watchers articles on it. Jax did a fantastic job writing it up. Nick's and Chameleon's renders are absolutely amazing. It's 5 articles. It's amazing. But if you really want to know all the little things with it, I recommend reading those, because they do amazing at their job. So
Julian Blake asks, can Flight 8 really be a ship catch if Flight 7 is suborbital? So we don't think Flight 8 will be, because it needs to do several orbits if it's going to come back to South Texas for the catch, right?
I mean, if they want to do orbit and catch in the same flight, why not? There's nothing stopping them from doing that. So,
What do we think? Because we do know that we don't know the trajectory, do we, of Flight 7 yet? They've not actually said. They've not released what they normally do on the website where they show the full mission profile, so we're not totally sure what they're going to do on Flight 7 yet. Is that correct?
Well, we do know it's a splashdown in the ocean or a catch or splashdown in the Gulf for the booster because that's what the license says. So my guess is it's going to be the same trajectory that the same trajectory they have flown since Flight 3, which is take off, go around, splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Especially with the afternoon flight time again, they're looking to have Ship 33 land in daylight so that they can get a really good look at the Block 2 heat shield, which is another massive upgrade of Starship. So I would expect it to be the exact same, especially with how quickly they approved it. I would expect it to be the exact same.
Israel Brewster asks, say SpaceX hits the desired cadence of 25 flights a year. What would that look like in terms of rollout, static fires, etc.? That's a good question because if they want to get the cadence up to at least twice a month, then would they go through the full flow, where, especially with the booster, because the booster can only be static fired at the pad, would they start thinking about, like they do with Falcon 9, start deleting the static fire test, Ryan?
Well, they don't delete static fire tests on Falcon 9 or the cryo. When Falcon 9 gets built, it goes to McGregor.
Yes.
It gets a static fire and it gets a cryo then a static fire. They're still going to do that with these vehicles. You still need to verify your plumbing works. You need to verify your tanks have no leaks in it. You need to verify your engines work integrated to the vehicle and the entire vehicle is happy and works well. They're not going to stop doing that. If they do end up doing 25 flights a year out of here, I mean, the only way they're going to hit that is with 2 operational pads. So that means so a flight every 2 weeks. It means every other week, other than those flights, you're going to be getting static fires on the pad. So 1 week you'll have a static fire, next week you'll have a launch. 1 week you'll have a static fire, next week you'll launch. That is if they're all new boosters. That's the other thing. If you're reusing vehicles, then assuming you're fine with it and the vehicle's good to go, you're literally rolling it back for refurb and then rolling it back out and launching it. So you also have to remember that. The only time they're going to cryo and static fire it is if it's a new vehicle.
I think,
and whatnot.
I think that's where I'm going with this. It's basically, right now, they're all new boosters. They're not reusing them yet. With Falcon 9, when they build a new booster, Falcon 9 booster, it goes to McGregor for a static fire test. Mm-hmm. And that's when it's validated. But when they're reflying them, like when it's B1080-15 or whatever, when it's getting ready for its 16th mission, it's not static fired. So they may find some cadence improvements or speed up with the fact that if they start reusing these vehicles, that are happy to say it's validated anyway, we can refly it without a static fire test. So maybe that's where they'll find some cadence improvements. And it's an interesting question because we are talking about the future. This is what it's meant to be. It's meant to be rapidly, fully reusable. This is the big key word here, rapidly. So once they start having these boosters being available and the actual bottleneck is not the boosters, and we don't think it'll ever be, we think it'll be the pad side of things, then that's when it gets really interesting because that's what they envision, that's what they want, and that's what they're targeting. So they've got to find solutions to that. It's not something where we're hopeful about it. It's something where it's absolutely an objective, and they have to find objectives for this where they can make it happen. As I say, looking at it, I do love this, right? There's always a kern. There's always a kern riding on the SPMTs. It's like it can't roll without a kern on top. It's always a kern. I wonder if they'd be Raptors in booties.
Yeah, they're going to be covered. The one thing, and speaking of the booster that's right in front of us here, considering where SpaceX is at with their first generation booster with Block 1 and where they are at with Pad B, and we have not seen a Block 2 start stacked yet because they just finished stacking Booster 16 and the next one up is 17. It might be a Block 2, but I'm still thinking it's a Block 1. I think if this thing gets caught, and they roll... I think if this thing gets caught, I think they refly it. The more I think about it, I think it might get reflown on flight 9. Literally the next flight after. They'll do 15 for flight 8, and then this one goes on flight 9. Because if they want any sort of cadence this year right now, they don't have the boosters to do it. So this booster will have hit 8 months from when it was started to be built, from when it finished stacking to when it's going to fly. 8 months. Okay? They just finished stacking Booster 16. If you go by that timeline, Booster 16 won't be ready till August. Well, that means they only have 2 boosters then. Because they just cryoed 15, so they need to find a way to keep flying. Well, the only way to do that is to refly. They would have to literally refly Booster 14 and 15 once or twice, even, to get more flights out of them. Because they're... So, I'm kind of curious what they're going to do.
Telstar86, are you expecting a wet dress rehearsal for this flight as it's the first Block 2 Starship? And thanks for all the coverage throughout 2024, roll on 2025. Thank you, Telstar. That was a super chat as well. Very much appreciated. I do expect there to be a wet dress rehearsal just for the integrated testing of the stack. It makes sense. Would you agree, Ryan?
Yeah, I think they'll do a full wet dress. They have the time to do it. They might as well do it. It's a new... the ship is brand new. It's got a lot of new plumbing in it, and whatnot. And not only that, you can test your hold down and pad mechanisms for an extra 300 tons of propellant on top. Because remember, this is extended tanks on this ship. So you're adding more propellant, and if they decide to fully fill it for the wet dress, you can then test your pad systems with the more propellant on board. So I say they'll do a full wet dress. I don't know when, but they'll probably do one.
I do love this view. You can see all the traffic on the road, and as compared to the size of the trucks, which are not small American trucks. I wish I had an American truck. I'd just drive around my local establishments in Yorkshire because they are big trucks, and they look tiny compared to this booster, as you'd expect. But I'm just imagining what you'd see out the windscreen. I mean, that's the view. I mean, that view there. I mean, sorry, I'm late for work. Got stuck behind a super heavy booster. It's an amazing sight. I mean, you get some sense of scale when you see traffic next to these vehicles, and this traffic is quite a distance away from the booster right now because they are waiting behind it. It's like literally they're in a traffic jam with a big, super heavy booster. I do like that. That must be surreal. I mean, probably a lot of these people are workers and they're quite used to it, but I would love to be in one of those cars right now. We've got, Ellie Mary says, Happy New Year. Thanks for the coverage. Well, thank you, Ellie Mary. That's very kind of you to do a super chat to say that. Lars Elbrom has gifted a Red Team membership. AE Rocketry has gifted a Red Team membership. We have Ellie Mary has come back again. 2024 was the year I discovered NSF. The best year. Oh, thank you, Ellie Mary. We need more people like you. That's very nice of you to say that. Very much appreciated. More questions. Anthony McQuaid asks, do you think that Booster 14 will be reflown? Or will they have to leave it for a later booster? So we're talking about reflights now. They've obviously recovered one booster so far, and that was obviously not going to be reflown. If Booster 14 is caught, Ryan, are we too soon for this, do we think, to use Booster 14 as a reflight vehicle? Or do you think they're going to have to catch a few more yet? Maybe we wait till Block 2 boosters.
I was kind of talking about that. I think they might end up reflying it. If they want to fly a lot, they're going to have to. They don't really have a choice. Either that or they wait for a while for their other boosters to be ready to fly. I think they probably learned what they needed to from Booster 12. And then I think they'll try to, if they can catch this thing and if it's in good enough shape. You also have to remember if it's in a good enough shape. Like it sustained no damage or anything, like Booster 12 ended up sustaining. But they'll probably have to replace engines, probably replace the grid fins. They'll have to do some refurbishment work on it because there's a lot of things about Block 1 that's not really that great for reusability. So they'll replace a lot of stuff, but the main structure of the vehicle, I think it'll fly again. I think it will.
Your support is going bonkers again, and it's regular people who I recognise their names. Please don't feel obligated to keep supporting us like this, because it is. I mean, it's very much appreciated, and it's why we can do what we do. But I see the same people just going bonkers every single time again. I do like the gifting memberships because it means people who may be big supporters of us who just can't go buying memberships get a membership for free for a month, and I do like that. So that's a really cool thing that YouTube's got. One of the best ways of supporting us is the store, because you get something in return for your support, and I do like that. I do like the idea of you getting something from us through the post. And one of the latest things we brought out, which was literally today, was our 2025 calendars. There's two of them. There's one which is Starbase orientated, and there's one which is launch vehicle orientated, generally launch vehicles. So I'm going to put the Nightbot command for the link into chat, and then when Nightbot does its thing, I will pin it. There we go. Thank you, Nightbot. Nightbot has done his thing, so I'm going to pin the one so it doesn't go off the screen. Hang on, I've now put Nightbot into a timeout. That would have been bad. Pin message, there we go. I've done it once before. Nightbot got banned, and they're just like, whoa, should have done that. But people have actually been buying already, because I see store messages where I can click on one there, which is from William. William got it. There we go. And William put, yay, new calendar. Thanks for everything the team does. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you also for buying something from our store. And we can thank you by getting a cool calendar. It is really good, by the way. It's really, really good. It's not like one photograph and done. Some of them have got like several photographs. And the Starbase one has got lots of our photography. All the photography in these two calendars are from our photographers, which I think is really cool to be able to do. You can see there, we've got aerial photographs, we've got a whole lot. That's probably from Jack and Mary. We've got lots of photographs in there from Starbase, and we've also got one which has got all the vehicles, such as KSC vehicles and what have you. So you've got your options there. Remember to pick out the country which if you're American, it'll say on the left-hand side. And if you're not from America, the dates, obviously date format is slightly different, so you can pick that option there. And that's how you do it. You can select between the two. But yeah, that's really cool that we've got this calendar out. Thanks for your patience in that. I did say when people were asking why we got a calendar out, I said, look, we've got a special calendar company which makes a really good quality calendar, and I want to make sure we pick that one. Even if it means a bit later than we should normally have brought it out, I want to make sure we still get the best calendar, because quality is everything, isn't it? Let's face it. So that's why there's a slight delay in getting that one out, but it's out now. There we go. So thank you for that. And Jared has, I think Jared might have got another one here, because I've got another store message. Let's see what comes up when I click on it. Let's see. Here we go. Yep, calendar. There we go. Thank you. And also George, finally new calendar. Thanks for another one. Glorious year, improving content. Cheers to another one. I wish you all the best. Thank you for that, George. Because one thing you can do when we're live on streams is if you get something from the store, you can put a message on there. Someone's got a hot mic. We've got a message where you can put it on and I can read it out at the same time. Phil, thank you for your support. You put B14 reflight, B17 block 2, my thoughts. White cone is a safety switch on the SPMT. Doesn't NASA need nighttime for these cameras? I'll just read it out word for word. There we go. I think Jared got about 4 points in there. Jared Walker's back with 10 gifted Red Team memberships. Dongle's done 5 Red Team memberships. RC Horseman's done 10 Red Team memberships. My goodness me. JY's back with 10 gifted Red Team memberships. You're trying to break me, aren't you, with all these gifted memberships? But I do really appreciate it, so I'm making sure they all get read out. And then Robert, wow, the inclusion of Mechazilla and the other Easter eggs is a big bonus. What did you get from the store? I'm assuming it might be a calendar. Let's have a look. Wait for it to come up on screen. Yep, calendar. Thank you for your support. Astra Knucklehead has gifted a Red Team membership. Teacher to become a Red Team member, and Josh Zero with a super chat saying they should launch Starship right at New Year's on midnight to ring in the new year. I think that would be an amazing idea, but I think our production team and our commentators would prefer to be out celebrating New Year's Eve. So I don't know if that's such a good idea after all, because we'd have to be working through it. There we go. Then again, I might just do it myself. I might do it solo, because if the time zones work out, I'll just do it solo. There we go. That'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Archie Rush, how many D-stacks do you think they'll get to do for B14 Ship 33, if any? I'm thinking none. Remember the first time round, Ryan? There were several D-stacks. I think it was mainly surrounding the hot staging ring, getting it right, wasn't it? But
well, the original time they used the hot stage ring was Booster 9, Ship 25. But there was also an issue along with that is they let's just say this: Flight 1 did a lot more to the Flight 1 did a lot to the pad, and by the looks of things, Flight 1 also might have like tweaked the pad slightly when they dug that hole, and they destroyed a good chunk of the concrete and some of the tie bars for between the legs. They might have accidentally tweaked it. So they spent 7 different stacks trying to get those 2 vehicles to mate right and figure a lot of things out. Then they eventually then figured a few things out, and then modified one of the ship pins on the chopsticks to account for the issue. Well, they changed that back. The ship pins are now back to their normal straight-on configuration, but the end of the ship pins themselves are a little bit different. Like, they have kind of like a, what is it? It's like a movable bearing, basically. So I don't really know how many times they're going to stack. I would assume at least they might do 2 if they really plan on a WDR. They might plan on stacking to fit check it because it is a new ship. The mating system is still the same, but they did get rid of like one thing on the aft side of 33. So I would say maybe 2 or 3 for this one around. I don't think it'll be just the one like they did with 31, where they installed the FTS, stacked it, and left it that way. I think there might be 1 or 2 stacks out of this, or 1 or 2 extra.
This looks like the world's coolest police chase. Look at this. That was really cool. They're going ahead to clear the road, aren't they? Because you saw one racing off there, and the rest are just surrounding, staying with the booster. This is a cool view. I think they've got a really nice lighting, not necessarily for our cameras, but potentially for the drone shots that SpaceX like to put out during events like a rollout. And they are cool photographs, to be fair. So don't be surprised if you see a drone buzzing around at some point, because they'll get the cool views from there. But yeah, it's taking a turn. It's on to the home stretch of Highway 4, where it goes past our highway camera, and we'll get probably some nice sound from the SPMTs, which is the nice brrr noise, which I can't do an impression of, as you can just gather. But yeah, more questions while we're waiting for that pass. Sean Robinson, when do you think they will build the first Block 2 booster? Now, have they started in Star Factory with parts of Block 2 booster, do you think?
I would be somewhat surprised and shocked if they did not have Block 2 booster hardware inside of Star Factory. The real kicker to me is when are the pieces ready enough for stacking? Because what they usually do is with boosters is they start with a common dome, and then they go down and build the LOX tank, and then they transfer that over to the other side of the mega bay, and then they build the methane tank from the top down, and then they stack the 2 on top of each other. It's kind of dependent on when all the parts are ready, or when they have a design nailed down. I would be surprised they didn't have a design nailed down at this point, but they're probably still figuring out tooling and figuring out a lot of things. That's probably why they haven't started stacking yet. And there's probably other factors along there as well, but I still think we're looking at least one more Block 1 booster before they build the Block 2, but we're just going to have to wait and see. With 16 finished, with 16 finished and now 14 out of the bay and 15 back in, the bridge cranes are now freed up once again. So they'll most likely move 16 over once they finish building it up on that other stand, and then we're just going to have to wait and see when they roll the next section out. It might be a couple weeks before we see the next booster section, and I mean, we'll know when it's Block 2. Like, we'll know. There's going to be enough changes. It'll be pretty obvious when it's a Block 2. So we're just going to have to wait and see here.
Hey, Rocketry, thank you for your support. Gift to Red Team membership. I'm going to read these out as fast as I can because there's so many of them. It's crazy. This is like, there's only 3,500 people, which is a lot of people. It's not like 150,000 people like we get for a launch stream, whatever. We get more than that, in fact. But the crazy support is, I'm going to have to read them. I'm going to make sure I read them all out because a lot of them are store messages. I think you've all got calendars. I'm going to bet you've all got calendars. Here we go. Annette, Happy New Year to everyone. Higs to everybody. I'm sure that's hugs to everybody. Brian, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks, NSF. Merry Christmas to you. We say Happy Christmas over in Yorkshire for some reason. And everyone else says Merry Christmas, but I say Happy Christmas. But never mind. Either ways, I think it all works. Richard, Methane Man here. Oh, we know your real name now. Thanks for making the calendars again. Mark, just bought the calendar. Go NSF. A lot of these are giving away the clue what to do, so I click on it and wait for the band to come up. Anonymous, love your streams. Glad you're here. Thank you for that support. Stephen, great times ahead. I'm still not getting through this queue. This is mad. Colin, my 4th calendar so far. Been around since the early days. The Hoppy days, thank you. Anonymous, appreciate all the coverage. Happy New Year to all NSF. Happy New Year to you too. Outstanding. I joined L2 yesterday and I was going to get 2 calendars, but they were sold out. Grabbing them now. They've done it just come out. I think you might have been very clever there and seen us preparing the pages because they've never been sold out. We just literally didn't get them on properly until today. So you were very clever to find it. You must have searched for it and found it. And obviously it wasn't for sale because we hadn't launched it. So it wasn't sold out, but you've got it literally the first day it's come out, which is today. I'm watching the rollout now. I'm going to pause while watching this roll past our highway camera. This is our site. This is our land. These bots are on our land we bought in South Texas thanks to your support. So when I read out these super chats and support, I'm sure there's many people in here who like go, another YouTube channel's reading out super chats. No, we read them out and questions as well. But the reason why we thank people for their support is because it allowed us, literally has allowed us the money to go and purchase all this equipment and this land, literally buy land around Starbase to provide these views that you all enjoy. So I make a big point of that because it is important because we could not go out and get a bank loan and do it and gamble because that's a quick way of going bankrupt. So we've gone out and basically just reinvested the support you've all provided us via your support, via super chats, via the store purchases, via subscriptions and what have you, and then gone out and done it. And this is where we're planning for the future already. There's things that you don't know about that I'm a terrible leaker, so I'm going to be very careful. But there's always plans in the cooking pot. Ryan, I'm babbling again. It started already, Ryan. I'm babbling again. There's things in the melting pot. That's the word I was looking for that we're working on for the future. Thanks to your support. Right, moving on. Booster's going past. There we go. Cool. Right. Thank you for your support, Anonymous. There we go. What's that? Great service. Been watching NSF since the early days of Hopper. Another one there. Another Hopper original. We've got another Anonymous one. People, when they don't put their real name in, they can put Anonymous, and that means they don't have to read their name out. Been looking for a good calendar. Good 2025 calendar. Well, you've got one now. Thank you for your support. Simon, thanks for a fabulous year of coverage at Starbase and everywhere. You're all legends. Well, thank you, Simon. You're a legend for buying your things from the store. That's a terrible way of saying it. Oh, that's a cool view. There's the 2 towers now. Right, and I'm gonna have a question from me. I've got a question here from Chris, who asks, when do you think Tower 2 will be operational?
That's a tough one.
That's why I asked it.
It's still several months away. They still have a lot of work to do. They are currently, like, in terms of the tower, they're currently still setting stuff up for being able to put the chopsticks on. Once those are on, they then have to hook up, because they have the winch and they have the spool. They then have to basically reeve the spool through the entire tower, through the chopsticks, and then back through the winch. So that has to get done. They have to put on the QD arm. That's just one. And then the other thing comes is the pad itself. The trench is still being dug as they're doing tiebacks to hold, basically, the sheet piles they put in. They're drilling through the sheet piles and tying them into the ground that they're in. So they're, as they dig down, they're tying the sheet piles in so it doesn't collapse. And then they have to fill that in with concrete. They have to finish welding the pad. I'd still give it at least another 6 months. It's probably not gonna be ready till I'd say end of Q2 this year. It's gonna be a bit. There's still a lot of work to do.
Legendary Cow. What a username. That's a great username. How many booster transport stands are available to SpaceX to keep the boosters moving?
2, with a third partially completed, but they aren't really working on it. One is being taken up by Booster 14, Booster 14 right here, as they're using it to transport it. The other one is by Booster 12. Eventually, they're going to need Booster 12, so either they build a stand or build a spot to keep 12, or they scrap 12 so they can use that transport stand. So, yeah.
When do we think, Ad Astra asks, when do we think Ship 33 might roll out? Have we got any road closures that point to Ship 33's rollout? Yeah.
The only other closure we have is tonight at midnight to the launch site, but that's a alternative backup to this one, to the one they're using right now for Booster 14. We haven't had any indication that they're getting ready to roll 33 out. Mega Bay 2 is still really crowded with lifts. I think they're doing that final push to get both 33 and 34 ready for rollout, because 34 needs to go for cryo. It should be ready within the next 2 weeks, or within the next few weeks, give or take, because it finished stacking about a month and a half ago, and if you go by Ship 33 timelines, it's 2 months to cryo, so it should be ready sooner rather than later. We're just gonna have to wait for other road closures for when 33 rolls out. I think it's just going to be a matter of when the vehicle is ready, because I don't think it's ready yet. Otherwise, they might have already rolled it out.
Welcome to the interactive part of this rollout stream. I have a question here that I want to ask not only just Ryan, but also everyone in chat, because I think this is quite a good one. It comes from Curveless Spine. Curveless Spear. There we go. If I get the right username, it might help. That's just my eyesight. Apologies. Flight 8 catch. Will it happen? Right, so let's put that into the ticker and let's start a poll. Here we go. So I'm going to start a poll. It's a flash poll. It's going to be up for a few minutes. But Flight 8 is what Elon has said. If everything goes right with Flight 7, they will go for a catch on, might go for a catch on Flight 8. So he's put it out there. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. He's put it out there as a potential objective of Flight 8 is to catch the ship. So the poll is up there. We'll see we'll come back to it, because we'll give it 5 minutes for people to give a vote on it, and we'll see what they say. While they're voting, Ryan, quick one, yes or no? Do you think they'll go for a catch on Flight 8?
So I think they will try for it. Will they get it? Flip a coin. I really don't know if they'll actually pull it off. But will they try for it? Yes, I think they will. I think they are pushing hard enough that they need to get reusability into this program as quick as possible. They want both ships and boosters back so they can start reflying them. Because the higher they can get their flight rate, the more flights they can get in, the more they understand the vehicle, the more flights they can have so they can do their propellant transfer demo, the more vehicles that they have ready so that if they did want to do a Artemis 2 like rendezvous or mission during Artemis 2 to test out comms between the vehicles, they can do that. Like, there's a lot. The biggest thing for this is getting data and getting reusability right away. So yes, I think they will try for it.
Well, I'll leave the poll up. I'm going to do some. I wish I could take a screenshot of this and show people in chat. I've got a panel there. It's got support queue, it's got question queue, it's got submitted questions. Basically, we combine, doesn't matter if it's super chat or not, we combine the questions into the middle column, and it could be from anybody. So that's what we work on. We don't work only on super chats. But my left-hand column is full. And it is so rare to see it this busy on a stream with this many people on, because normally it's like a much bigger stream where you get this amount of support. So first on, thanks to all of you. I want to make sure I read you all out, because it is so many. And I don't want to sound like I'm just reading super chats, but there's so many of them. That's why I've got to read them out. Anonymous got something from the store. Happy to see calendars available. I've been hoping for a month to see you have them. Great job, everybody, especially the photographers. Yeah, well said. The photographers make it because they take some amazing photography. So we know that's the calendar before I even press on it. Josh Zero, launch Jack on Starship with Jack and Starship wearing a kilt. It'll never go away. Poor Jack's never gonna shake that kilt thing. Poor Jack.
Hey, if it gets me on a Starship, I'll do it.
Oh, hang on. Jack's made a caveat of wearing a kilt. Because you said there's no way you're gonna wear a kilt in any circumstances, but now you've given them an out. So if now we can sponsor you to fly on Starship on some absolutely incredibly daring version of Polaris, call it Polaris kilt. Right.
Chris, please stop. Please abort. Can we abort? Can we abort this?
I will just say this.
Hey, look, viewer questions.
No, I will say this. You know who would pay for him to be on that launch? You know who would do it, right? You know he would do it under Polaris? You know he would. For Jack. You know he would. Jared. Jared would totally do it. He would be all for it.
I'm doubting it somehow.
No,
I can think of literally a million things for him to better spend his money on, not least of which pediatric cancer research.
I was just going to say that. I was thinking, children's cancer research or Jack in a kilt. Decisions. Yes, I think Jack was right 5 seconds ago by saying abort this. I'm going to abort that and move quickly on to more support because I did say I've got a lot of it. Rick got something from the store, which I'm going to assume to Canada because Canada is doing so well. Continue your great work. Thank you. Aaron said starting 2025 the right way. I'm literally reading now. You can see when it comes up. John, thanks for your efforts in 2024. Looking forward to an exciting 2025. Well, thank you for your support. We've got Kyle Riker, who's become a Padrat member. We've got Natalie saying Happy New Year and getting something from the store. Michael says Happy New Year. Thanks to NSF team for the hard work this year in providing us amazing views and commentary to a year filled with rocket launches and even more incredible spaceflight milestones. That's wonderfully worded, by the way, Michael. That is really nice writing. I just noticed that straight away. That's pretty much my wheelhouse is the writing side of things. So I did notice that. It was very nicely written. Well done, Michael. Anonymous, thank you for all the spaceflight coverage over the years. I've been watching NSF since SN8. You know what? In chat, just don't do a super chat. Just put in chat when you first started watching us. If you can find a milestone, be it a hopper or something like one of the test flights or something like that, or maybe you've just joined now. You know, you might have just basically found us now. So I'm going to quickly just
Star Hopper.
Crazy. Are you talking about yourself, Jack?
Me? Talk about myself? What?
Talking about yourself when you first discovered NSF streams. You'd have been with us, wouldn't you, surely? When did you join us, Jack?
Before then.
Oh,
I'm being stupid. Just ignore me. Abort.
What? A lot of them are Hopper in chat. A lot of them are Hopper era. Wow. And that's cool because that means you're stuck by us. You're still with us. And that's a bit of a nice thing to see because a lot of people, I've been on many streams, different subject matters where I might have got into them for a bit and it's got lost and moved on to a different stream, whatever. So that's really cool that you're stuck by us. So the ones who are saying Hopper, thank you.
I never made a forum account, but I did hang around for some of the time for Shuttle. So yeah.
Hang on a minute. Ryan Webber knew of NSF while we're still covering Shuttle?
Yeah.
Wow, that's going back a while. And by the way, bingo, you've mentioned Shuttle.
There you go.
Before me as well.
How am I doing it before you these days?
I know, what's going on?
I think the thing that I initially started seeing NSF on was Reddit, probably when I posted photos there and not on X. And I distinctly remember what was the mission where NSF people helped recover the corrupted footage from one of the boosters that splashed down? That was where I was like, you just keep seeing people online say, oh, NSF this, NSF that. And I was like, okay, I have to figure out what this NSF thing is. And then that's probably around the time I messaged you on the forums like, hello, Chris, I like planes and rockets. Do you need anybody to take photos of planes and rockets?
Yeah, that's many years ago. Because Elon actually thanked NSF for the work, the forum people who did all the work. It was amazing, by the way, the recovery of that video, which was corrupted. It was the first water landing of a Falcon 9, and they had corrupted video, and they put it out there, and it was the NSF team, and he thanked us. And he thanked us at the reveal of Crew Dragon, and it was nothing like what Crew Dragon looks like right now. That's how long ago it was. It was like many, many, many years ago, so that was really cool. But that's going back many years. But yeah, that's super cool. Again, this support queue is just growing and growing and growing, and I want to thank some more people. We'll go back to questions in a second. Anonymous, I've read that one out. Simon and Mac gifted 5 team memberships. Thank you, Simon. Up the Bantams. I know he's a Bradford City sport, that's why. Anonymous, a calendar. Thanks for all you do. Noah, go SpaceX, go Falcon. Austin did a tip. Thank you, Austin. That's racy tips, but very much appreciated. Can't wait for Flight 7. Captain Jack in a kilt in a kayak would be great on a Starship flight. Polaris kilt, by the way, it's stuck, by the way, Jack, so maybe not abort. Yeah. Polaris kilt would be fun. I think this flight would be quite a catch. double entendre. Also cool to see the New Glen. Oh no, the New Glen its nickname is sticking. Static fire test the other day. Yes,
That's all Jack's fault too.
That is all Jack's fault as well. There we go. We've got another one. My first NFS stream was SM5's 150-meter hop. Hope everyone at NSF has a great Christmas and Happy New Year. I remember covering that SM5 and SN6, the hops. They were just following Hopper's footsteps, but they were like with the big steel 20-ton cap on top, looked like a top hat. It was amazing. And we're all thinking, it's never going to get better than this, and boy, did it get better than this. Natalie, thank you for your super chat with no message, but I appreciate it and I read you out. And Phil, Jack in a kilt and the Starship will raise millions. Hopefully for children's cancer research.
See, now what you do, Jack, is you do it and then you make it a fundraiser. That's what you do, Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have to be a fundraiser if Jared was involved, let's face it.
Yeah.
Logan, Drums 23, when next Shuttle Sunday? Good question. We think end of January because we're going to time it around the anniversary of 51L, which was Challenger, because that is the next Shuttle Sunday. We're running these missions in order. We started with STS-1. In fact, we started with pre-Shuttle, just the construction and design, but we've moved all the way through the missions, and the next mission coming up was 51L, and we thought we'll pause for a bit because we've got to do this right. We've got to do this respectfully, right, no jokes. It'd be Sawyer, Jack, and myself, and we'll do it properly, and we're going to prepare for it properly. So we thought, well, it's going to time quite well if we do it properly to do it for the end of the month of January, which is around the anniversary of that mission, which was obviously a big tragedy. And we're going to do that one different to other Shuttle Sundays because it's going to be quite a serious one. And yeah, we're still to plan it out, but that's when the next Shuttle Sunday will be. We've got BK Snyder asking thoughts on when the smaller HB comes down. Right, so we're looking at the production site and the way they're going to revamp. I know something you've touched upon before, Ryan, so we're going to talk about it again. We've got the High Bay, we've got Mega Bay 1, Mega Bay 2, and Star Factory. What do you think we're going to see as the forward plan as something that's going to be long term? What do you think is going to come down? What's going to replace it?
The long term, all three bays plus Stargate goes bye-bye. And one large bay attached to the factory goes in. It's the most efficient way to build these vehicles. It is the cleanest way to build them. That means you don't roll anything out into the ring yard or anything. Basically, what happens is rolls of steel and parts come in. That's an amazing shot right there.
Isn't it?
Holy cow! They basically rings of steel and parts go into the factory in one end, and out of the bay comes a completed vehicle. The current bays that they have are not good at all for large-scale production, or for that matter, even large-scale servicing. They have 3 work stands in each. Mega Bay 1 is horribly put together for building and refurbishing boosters or servicing boosters. It's horribly put together. They use scaffolding in most of that bay. It's just not great. Mega Bay 2 is a lot better because they have a lot of work stands and whatnot. They have basically eliminated scaffolding almost as a whole inside that bay, and use like exclusively the specific work stands that they've built for it. But I think so. Yeah, we'll see. I think it's all going away. What?
I just heard you move away from your microphone. I thought Ryan's just leaving as he's talking. I'm thinking, where's he going?
Sorry, I just turned my head for a second to read back channel.
By the way, I left that flash poll up there for like half an hour. Let me just read the poll results out. What a surprise. We've got massive optimism about the potential of a catch on Flight 8, a ship catch, that is. 85% voted yes, they'll go for a ship catch. Now that's clever because it doesn't mean necessarily they're going to succeed with it, but going for it is what they're doing. As a light truck passes the Rio Grande Valley historical sign, that is quite cool. We get the police lights reflected on this as well. As Booster 14 turns the corner towards the launch site, they've done that in pretty good time. To be fair, that is something they're getting.
It's really moving.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm sitting here watching it, and it's really hauling the mail, at least from the perspective of the dunes.
Yeah, it's very nice lighting right now. This is quite impressive. sort of timed this quite well. SpaceX is obviously controlling the views right now. Look at this. I mean, this is beautiful. This is something you don't often see in Yorkshire for a start. I guarantee that straight away. That is a beautiful sunset at South Texas Starbase. Wonderful. More thanks. Connor, love the card. Looking forward to sleepless nights. Waiting for things to do. Happy New Year, NSF. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year from Natalie. There we go, Natalie. Thank you. John Valentine. Which ships chasing target? Tom and Jerry. Right, this is a good question though, because we do have that refilling objective in 2025, don't we? And it is on the NASA documentation, the two ships called Target and Chaser. Ryan, what ships do you think they could be, like Ship 38 or something like that? What do you think they'll go for with those two ships? What do you reckon they are in the production order?
It's kind of hard to tell where they're at. I would assume it's probably like 37, 38, or 38 and 39. Maybe somewhere along those lines. It's really hard to. We won't really know until we see the hardware, because we'll see a passive and active docking hardware appear. So that's kind of what we're looking for, and it would be kind of funny if they named them Tom and Jerry or Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hear me out, Roadrunner and Coyote.
Yeah. And they named the ships those, and they put the stickers on the ships for that. That would be all. Knowing SpaceX, that is totally something SpaceX would do.
Meep.
Yeah.
We're going to see a very nice shot here as it passes by.
Chris, I'm gonna make that my notification sound. I'm gonna make that you. My notification sound. That's perfect.
Meep.
My notification sounds a random groans from Adrian when we tell him that his saying makes no sense in English when he translates it from German. I had to get off my liver. I'm like, what? Get off your what? I've got to go under the shower. In the shower? No, under the shower. No, Adrian, English. I'm picking on Adrian. I hope he's not listening.
SPMT AM ASMR.
Oh, here we go. Big steel rocket's going to affect the signal. That's a cool view. Passing the historical sign as well. Yep, do want to talk over the lovely tones of the SPMTs. That is a real cool shot. Oh, we're gonna get a tilt up. There you go, see Jack. I'm learning from Jack. A tilt up the booster, not a pan, a tilt. I used to say pan all the time. You say, "Oh look, pan up the booster," and Jack would be like, "No, called tilt." And the grid fins there. Yep, this is a rollout, by the way, boys and girls, for launch. All goes well. This is the last time we'll see the vehicle down Highway 4, unless they catch it and take it back down the production site.
I would say if all goes well, this is at least the second to last time we see it rolling down Highway 4.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would say.
I'd love to see another catch. I mean, they did say that it was out of an abundance of caution. They didn't go for the catch on Flight 6 because of the communication between the tower and the booster. That's all it was. It wasn't like an engine out or anything like that. It was nothing serious. So that is where you get a lot more hope that was something quite minor, but they didn't want to gamble, which is right decision, by the way, and decided to abort it to the Gulf. So you get every hope of having some optimism, some expectations that they're going to catch this booster again. And that'll be stunning, because that was something surreal when they did it first time round. I was like, what the heck is this? This is amazing. And I'm sure everybody else was the same. Right, lovely view again. I'm watching the views and trying to read the panel at the same time. I can't read both. Right, I'm going to do some more thanks, then some more questions. Telstar, for possibly the last rollout of the year, if they do not roll ship tomorrow, on behalf of all NSF fans, thank you for everything you guys do. Can't wait for all the great photos and videos from the folks in the field next year. What a wonderful comment, Telstar. Thank you. I'm sure everyone appreciates that, not least the photographers and what have you, because that is a lovely message, and thank you for your support. Again, I always have a bit of a mind wipe when it happens. People are literally sending us money to say thank you. Just think about that for a second, including chat, right? So you started the site in 2005. you thought, yeah, it'd be quite a good hobby site. You know, I could talk about shuttle and get some people in technical, blah, blah, blah. And then 20 years later, you've got people paying you, not paying me, paying NSF to say thank you. I mean, that's surreal. I'll never underappreciate that because it is bonkers and it really is not something I'll ever take for granted. So thank you for that. And I'm babbling. I'm not using my words correctly, but I'm trying to get across how bonkers that is, and it really is. And I do appreciate it greatly. Sieran, going back to ship catched, I think they will attempt it on Flight 9 based on data points from all the splashdowns. I like that too, but I also thought they'd go for more splashdowns of the boost before they attempt to catch with the booster, because I thought they'll get a couple more before they go for it. And look what happened. They went for it on Flight 5. So that makes me think they might still go for it on Flight 8 if everything goes right with Flight 7. Jared Walker has done $100 super chat for the killed in a jack. Sorry, start again. for a jack in a kilt in a Starship fund. We're getting a massive super chat for Jack in a kill. Right, JWA has done a $50 super chat. JWA, just this guy, you know. Amazing support, by the way, and a regular support as well. I recognise your name straight away. Ryan's on the store message. Finally got one sticker. My laptop was missing. 3 more for my NSF monitors that stream 24/7 lives. Thank you. I know quite a few people leave a monitor on just with our live streams up, and that's really cool thing to know. Not just you though, also the people at Starbase. We saw previously on a Jay Leno tour, and we've seen recently on a Tim Dodd tour that inside the production site they have monitors with our 24/7 stream up. So they're literally watching us, watching them, and that is really cool. Ryan with store message. I just read out. Okay, so I'm breaking. It's past midnight here. Joyce Lynn became a Padrat member. Thank you, Joyce. Lord of Random. I was naming it all the time. Just a small amount. Oh, right, cool. Do interrupt me. Do Alex Star interruptions?
Yeah, they are gonna. Looks like they're gonna line it right up and go right into the sticks. We don't know when they're gonna lift though. Just to say, they could lift tonight. They could lift tomorrow. It's whenever SpaceX is ready to go is when they do it. So.
Yeah. A lot of random, just a small amount, but I'm happy to donate. I'm happy to donate upon. Sorry, I'll be so proud of you. John, store message, a nice shot to fill space on my wall. Thank you, Telstar. Joyce just did a heart message. Thank you, Joyce. Michael, I love those Starbase sunrises. Is New Glenn still testing? Right, quick diversion from Starbase. They did take New Glenn down from its erect position on LC-36 after its successful static fire test. So now they'll be doing the work to do final integration work, and then they'll take it back to the launch site ready for its launch, which we think is the 5th or 6th of January. I think it's like overnight. It's like a midnight thing. So it's around 5 days or 6 days away. With not long to go before we get New Glenn.
What is it? The FAA Ops Plan Advisory says the 6th and the 7th from 0430 Zulu to 0745 Zulu on the 6th and the 7th. Although, I would just tell everybody that this is a brand new rocket, as we have said in the past. They just did a static fire. They just did a bunch of tanking tests and everything. We will see if they make that date. They have a lot of data to crunch. They have a lot of work to do. If they don't make the date, it's not the end of the world. But if for NSF's sake, the farther apart from the flight we're about to watch out of this spot here would be best.
A kind of relevant question because of the views we're looking at right now is from that is his username. Will it be a morning launch or an afternoon launch? We think they might go for the same again, like last time, which is great, by the way, because it means we get like a full day of like the countdown rather than going through the night views of the big massive lights on the tower, which can infect cameras. So we're hoping for the same. We don't know yet, so we have to wait and see. But yeah, people in chat even been asking that as well. The likelihood is they'll do the same as last time, and that'd be ideal for all concerned because the time zones and also the lighting conditions for our cameras. I hope so. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see.
Elon tweeted the 10th at like 4:45 today Central Time. He tweeted the 10th. So with him saying that, and it seems a pretty dang realistic target, especially with some of the advisory we saw come out. I would expect official advisories to come out this upcoming week. So probably after New Year's is over with, I would expect to start see advisories, notices come out, stuff like Note Mars, Note TAMS. And honestly, even I would expect an official announcement from SpaceX relatively soon, considering the booster for that flight is rolling out.
I'm doing Alex.
Yeah?
Fairings, recovering, coming back. Space Coast Live.
I was going to mention after I was done, but yeah, you can do it, Alex.
Yeah, Space Coast now has got the fairing recoveries. Remember, these like pallets of gold. They call it pallets of cash, and that's what they actually call it because they cost millions. Those fairings are not cheap. So they're recovering them from the ocean and reusing them, and that is another reusability thing.
Wait, did you say? What did you say, Chris? Space Coast what?
Space Coast Live.
Okay.
What do you think I said? Oh, there's Nuclear's pad.
Yeah.
There's LC-36 in the background with no rocket erect, as you can see, as we mentioned before. They brought that down. I don't know what you're thinking I said, Ryan.
I thought you said Space Coast now.
No, it's a Space Coast Live.
I don't know. Kevin thinks you said it.
No, Kevin misheard me. Definitely Kevin misheard me.
Okay.
Maybe I was like halfway through another sentence.
In chat saying you said now, so I don't know.
No,
I think you have chat you have
misheard.
Kevin against
Yeah.
you.
Chat misheard. No, chat misheard. I definitely said Space Coast Live. Chat misheard as well.
I know you said it's on Space Coast Live now. It just the live part dropped out a little bit. Yeah, no, you're right. Chris is right.
The mystery has been solved. There we go. So anyway, moving quickly on. It's late. My brain don't work. Trent, thank you for your support in Stoke. Can't wait for IFT7. We're not calling it IFT. Ryan Caton will get very upset. We're calling it Flight 7.
Just call it Flight 7.
Yeah. I think it's fine. But either way, thank you for your support. That's an awesome view as well, by the way, the police lights and the booster.
there's Deepod Dolphin Productions in chat.
Yeah, he's not happy. Ryan's not happy with IFT7s. No, he wants it Flight 7.
See, now that happened, chat's just gonna say it again and again. Saying there's Kevin saying it. Now they're just gonna do it just for him. So
I said to him, look, if you say don't do something, what's everyone gonna do? They're gonna do it.
Yeah. What do you expect?
Some sensible questions. Sausage asks, the FTS won't be installed yet, right? No. That's what they do very close to launch. Maybe a few days now before launch, but usually very much closer to launch. So we've got to wait for both the vehicles to be out there stacked. And they might do a destack to allow for that. So that's yet to happen. Good question, though, because a lot of people do ask that. Any thoughts on the secondary buildings? I think we discussed that. Yeah, we discussed what they're going to do with the change of the production site. So that's a question that's probably been answered if you hopefully heard it a few minutes ago. Question for Ryan. It literally says here, probably for Ryan. Do you have any theories about the new reinforcements just below the common dome? That's from Damien.
No, I mean, like they're not really stringers. They're kind of just a ring of stiffeners that SpaceX has put on Booster 14. The only thing I can think of is that it's something they learned from Booster 12, but then you ask the question as to why they didn't put them on Booster 13, and they put it on 14 instead. I honestly have no idea why those would be on there. I don't know why that would be a structural weak point or something along those lines. Because it's not where 13 broke. 13 broke a little bit low. 13 broke on its LOX tank lower than that when it tipped over. So, yeah, I don't know why. It's SpaceX possibly saw something on 14 or maybe even or something, and they decided to add a little bit more structural integrity or something like that. Because it looks like Booster 15 is going to get them as well. They were installing a bunch of scaffolding stuff before they rolled it into the bay and while it was over at Massey's. So, yeah. I don't know.
Natalie is back, and the Jack in the kilt might be related. Jack is tilting at boosters. Maybe we should call him Don Quixote. Deary me. Thank you, Natalie. Nibbles SBL is on my restaurant kitchen. Love all from New Zealand. Wow, that's cool. So that means other people will be seeing it as well. That's another cool thing, that you're probably introducing people to rockets. They're probably going, what's all that on that screen there? You'll have to tell them and inform them about rockets, and that's never a bad thing. David, thank you for all the thank you, NSF, for a fantastic 2024. So many important, inspirational, exciting things happening this year in spaceflight. Love your amazing coverage. Thank you, David. Space Pup, blessings to Space Pup. Thank you for gifting 5 Red memberships. And also doing super chat in the name of Hopper, the SPMT, and the Holy Space Ghost. Thank you. Ryan has done a tip. $5 to counteract the Jack. Oh gosh, try and read that again. $5 to counteract the kilt for Jack.
Yeah.
Remember, it gets windy at Starbase.
Well, like, not to give this more air, but like you understand what the implication of a kilt on a starship is, right? Like the kilts are. It's not. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, if you're gonna do
Nobody
a kilt,
wants that.
if you're gonna do a kilt,
0G kilt, no thanks.
If you're gonna do a kilt properly, as the Scots people do, then the windy part will make you understand why you don't want the kilt being in a windy condition. So yeah, we'd have our stream taken down by the YouTube police. Put it that way. Moving quickly on. Do we think?
Yes, please.
Yes, Richard Burton asked, do you think SpaceX will test a single Raptor 3 alongside tried and tested Raptor 2s, or will they just launch a booster or ship with a full set of Raptor 3s? So we're talking about mix and matching here. They won't mix and match Raptor 2 and Raptor 3s, will they?
No,
Right.
It'll be all or nothing. I don't know when Raptor 3s are going to get integrated with ship. I would expect the first several Block 2s are still going to stay Raptor 2s, or what is it ever 2.5 or whatever. It's a slightly different Raptor because the thrust vector control computer was moved from the vehicle side to the engine side on the center ones. I don't know. It's one change on this one compared to the other ones, but that's about it. And then for booster, I would not expect Raptor 3s until Block 2 of booster. SpaceX does not need to rush Raptor 3. They kind of needed to rush it for Raptor 2 because Raptor 1.5 was, well, shall we say, I don't think it would have done very well if they tried to fly Booster 4 for a multitude of different reasons. They needed Raptor 2 to get to full stack flights, and they needed it to get into space. So they rushed to get Raptor 2, and they kind of worked through its issues while static firing Booster 7 and then during the first flight. And they worked a lot of those out. And as we saw, they had pretty much all the engines were near perfect on Flight 2 on ascent. So I think they're going to take their time with Raptor 3 because Raptor 3 is going to be like their operational engine. When they get that on this vehicle, that's what's going to be on this vehicle for a significant amount of time. Like, there probably will be small upgrades here and there, but I don't think we're going to get a Raptor 4, or for that matter, a new engine anytime soon. So I think they want to make sure Raptor 3 is matured and it's good to go before they stick it on a vehicle.
Just watching Booster 14 arriving at Chopsticks. That's when we'll end the stream, by the way, because that'll be the point where they'll take some time getting Booster 14 ready. If it does get lifted any time between now and forever, then we'll have it on we'll have it on Starbase Live. I know it says Space Coast Live again because I'm so insistent on saying Space Coast Live and not what people thought I said. But yeah, it'll be on Starbase Live, so we'll have cameras on it regardless. So that's something you won't miss. Just missing the commentary for it, which you don't really need. I know it's a few people on the New Glenn static fire. We did 4 or 5 hours waiting for it to static fire. It went through several aborts. And we still covered it live. But because we weren't talking, that's somehow perceived as not covering it live. I thought, well, one thing, you don't be talking over a static fire for a start. But the other thing was we've got cameras on it and people just want to see it. They don't necessarily need us talking over it. So that's cool. We have lots. Again, I'm never going to go through them all, which is so bonkers. K5 Tor. K-Store, I think, with a 5. gifted 10 Red Team memberships. Richard Skinner became a Capcom member, which means you get access to our Discord server, which is a member Discord server, which is a great place. I spent far too much more time in there. We do have more questions as well, such as Outdoorsman Show, who for Chris, will Tower 2 have tower cladding, similar to 39A like on Tower 1? I don't know what the plan... We've seen the renders of what they perceive the two towers will look like, and that was a lot different to what we've seen with Tower 1, even though it's been completed. I don't think we're going to see any more cladding that we see right now on Tower 1. Is there any reason for the cladding, Ryan?
Well, the reason for the cladding they have right now on Tower 1 is the bottom part is protecting from launch. The thin strips that go up a little bit beyond the full cladded side is for when the booster comes back and protected from the exhaust while during a catch. My guess is Tower 2 will get kind of the same treatment as Tower 1 has, but a full cladding, it's not going to happen. I mean, cladding looks nice, but it's a pain because once it gets damaged, you then have to paint it and replace it and everything, and it's just too much of a pain. That's why SpaceX doesn't really do it much anywhere anymore. So,
all for IX have SpaceX confirmed Raptor 3s are in production. By the way, Ryan, I missed Elon's tweet about the launch date and time. Was it a standalone tweet or was it a reply to someone?
He replied to someone and just said 10th. He just said 10th.
All right.
Didn't give a time, just gave a date. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah, I missed that one. He does a lot of tweeting recently. Gina G asks, which will come first? Booster reuse or double catch of a booster and ship? Right, so let's break that down. The first milestone either being a reflight of a booster or where they catch the booster and then catch the ship. What will happen first, Ryan?
I honestly could see them doing the double catch on Flight 8. They catch the booster, they safe it, they bring it back, they safe it and take it away from the pad, ship orbits, re-enters, gets caught, done. I could see that in Flight 8. If SpaceX is ambitious enough, and, well, it's SpaceX, so I honestly wouldn't be shocked at a double catch before a booster reuse. Or if they don't catch the ship on the next flight, then maybe they have a booster reuse on the time that they do catch both of them, which would be like Flight 9, because maybe Booster 14 flies on Flight 9, and they do a booster reuse plus a double catch on Flight 9 or something like that. I don't know. It could be a kind of interchangeable. But I think it's entirely possible that both of those happen within the next couple of flights. I think SpaceX is really, really pushing hard to advance this program. So,
Hobby asks, plan to travel down from Virginia to Boca on Flight 7. Is there a place to meet the NSF crew? They'll be about. A lot of them as well. They'll be about. Definitely say hello, and they'll say hello back to you. Just don't hang around for 3 hours because they've got work to do and they'll get very busy.
Yeah, there's a very high likelihood you see us out and about around the launch site or the production site working on things ahead of launch. Also, I mean, we hang out at Rocket Ranch a lot too. I'll probably end up being at the outpost, Rocket Ranch outpost for launch specifically. So that's also probably a good place to come say hi if that happens to be where you're watching from.
We've got lots of questions about the HLS airlock that I was seeing stuff actually. From Jack, I'll bring Jack in. I'm Mary. Jack, we don't all remember. I mean, we've got photographs there. We'll be using them in videos as well, so you see them in public. But we've got lots of views. Members will see them already, especially L2 members will get everything, and Capcom above will see everything because we push everything on there. But Jack, what did you see through the windows of Star Factory that maybe HLS related?
It looks like a weird, almost gumdrop shaped compartment, and it's got like a fabric cloth cover over what I assume is the hatch. And yeah, it's got a little label on it, helpfully facing right towards the doors on the glass that says HLS airlock. So I don't know if I presume it's a mock-up or some sort of pathfinder, in the same way that nose cone that's out near the Rocket Garden, that HLS nose cone is like, it's not flight hardware, right? Like I would be surprised if it was flight hardware. That said, I've been saying for a while now, you know, if they're going to hit their Artemis goals, they need to be working on this stuff, and I guarantee you there's moon hardware sitting in that factory. And sure enough, here we see this HLS airlock hardware. I would really love to know more about it. Like what's inside of it, how high of a fidelity is it? It's really hard to say, but if you stand at just the right spot outside the Star Factory like front entrance and doors, you can sort of just barely see this weird like half gumdrop shape inside the doors. It looks like a white pill shaped, almost not really half gumdrop. I don't know how else to describe it. Now I'm babbling, Chris.
No, that's fine. It wouldn't be a stream unless someone was babbling, because especially usually me as well. I'm going to thank some more people. We think it's now stopped, so they're probably going to stop now until they move it to the chopsticks. So we're going to get an endpoint for this live stream. I'm going to quickly thank some more people though before we do. We've got Lynn, who did a star message. Thank you. I can hardly see now, by the way, so I'm going to struggle with these. Thank you all the guys in the field who have brought us these great pictures. Happy New Year to you all, but especially Ryan Caton, who is from my part of the UK, another Norfolk person, Lynn. There we go. Phil, Jack, it's Bacon Day. Did you know? Whoop, whoop. Jack, did you know it's Bacon Day?
Oh, of course. I can't not know today's Bacon Day. I must have had like 6 or 7 people all message me this morning. I don't think I get that many messages on my birthday. But yeah, people were like in my DMs on every platform this morning, just like, hey, it's Bacon Day. I'm like, cool, thanks. By the way, my birthday's March 10th. If anybody wants to message me on a significant day.
Wow, Jack, you not only mentioned that you knew it was Bacon Day, you managed to throw in your birthday there as well. So that's quite clever, sir. I'm expecting several tons of bacon arriving down to Brownsville at some point. James with a star message. By the way, these are all star messages I'm going to read out before we end the stream. And they've all probably got the calendar, I'm guessing, because that's what a lot of them are referencing. So thank you for your support. The calendar actually is... we released it today in the store. I wonder if Carson can bring it up on screen, because we can just give a final message to this with the calendar coming out. We've got 2 versions. We've got the Starbase version and we've got the spaceflight version, which covers all rockets. So you've got like a Starbase version, which is very much a Starbase. Again, all the photography in both of these calendars are from our own photographers. They're all our original photographs. So that makes it unique, but it's also a very nice calendar. Very well put together. It's not one of those chemist or pharmacy stores or drugstores, I call them in America, where you can get a calendar for $3 because it's basically just paper with some dates on it. These are proper quality calendars and they really are cool, but also they're very unique because they're our photography as well. So a lot of these people have got them as well, and I'm sure they will not be disappointed. I'm going to read them out. James, bet your next booster QD will be recessed completely into the launch platform. Colin, great work. Love all you do. Thank you, Colin. Benjamin, beep, 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 beep. Roadrunner references there. Thank you, Benjamin. And John has got 2. Thanks for everything you guys do. Love looking at these rocket shots all year long. Thank you, John. That's a lovely message to end this on. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's been helping in the background. Carson, Jay, Kevin Michael Reed, Gage, RC Holtzman. Everyone's been helping out in the background. Back rooms, I should say. And also been on with the stream with us as well, including Jack, who's been on with us. Jack, if you're still here, can you say goodbye to everybody?
Bacon shuttle horses.
Oh, nice. There we go. And also thank you to Ryan Webber. Thank you, Ryan.
Same. Bacon shuttle horses. It's a pleasure as always, Chris.
You can't. Why you say bacon shuttle horses? Anyway, not to worry. Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, they're all 3 are awesome. What do you mean I can't say that?
Yeah, true. Yeah, well, that's probably
Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars. There. How about that?
There we go. That's good. Yeah, that'll work. And on behalf of myself and everybody at NSF, I hope you all had a great holidays, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and all the best for 2025. It's going to be a very exciting year, to say the least, and I can say that with a lot of optimism and positivity because we just know there's going to be new rockets and a lot of Starship stuff going on in 2025. So enjoy New Year's Eve and all the best for the new year. And until next time, thank you for joining us and goodbye.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Methane would be igniting